Welcome to Lunch with Jim and A.Ron.
Hey,
the only video cast that's
coming right off the back of a 2-hour-long accountant meeting.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. I hate finances.
Yeah.
I hate them so much.
You've missed out because I've had about 3 more of equal length getting the other issues tackled. But yeah, it's intense. A lot of fun. Joys of owning your own business.
Yeah, it's
some people are in it for the podcasting. Some people are in it for the fan interaction. We're in it for the balancing
booze.
of checkbooks.
I'm in it for the whiskey, honestly. At this point,
the Q&A app is enabled. Let me open it up on our end. We didn't get to do one last week because of Jim's health, and we've been super busy. We're about ready to get out of we got about 3 more weeks of hell.
yeah, the 5 podcast weeks.
Once we get to May, it's pretty much it's back to smooth sailing. We think, but
yeah, hopefully that'll open us up to do some of the stuff we've been neglecting in the interim in the last few months.
Yeah, this morning I was doing prep on the first. I'm redoing one of the tinfoil spoiler sections into the full blown video segment. I started working on that this morning. So that's exciting. What do you want to talk about today? And we'll get some questions queued up.
Yeah, I don't know.
I saw Furious 7 last night.
You did? Was it good?
I don't know how to answer that question. It's exactly what you want out of a Fast and Furious film.
Okay, perfect.
I thought they handled the Paul Walker stuff really, really well.
Yeah.
It turns out, because I did some reading, because I was looking, and only in a few instances did I actually see where there was some questionable duplicate stuff going on. But I guess that his 2 brothers, I think their names Cody and Caleb, stepped in and they made him up and they dressed him and they completed a lot of his final stunt work. Paul Walker's brothers, yeah. And then
so weird.
There's one, it's like a very uncanny valley CGI work.
Vin Diesel in a wig. A blonde
He's Paul
wig.
Walker, yeah. No. Vin Diesel just got his face increasingly looks like a piece of chewed gum. And the back of his head and neck, it's impressive. But yeah. I mean, what do you think the most outrageous stunt of the last one was? To me, it's Don.
It was a train thing, I think.
I thought it was Don doing a 360, getting out of his car door and jumping and smashing his body into Letty, and somehow that saved her. That is where the stunts start at this film. Everything else is just more and more ridiculous. That
sounds good.
Really, I've never seen a game of chicken go down quite the way it goes down in this series. I think they're getting a little bit long. I think there's one entire set piece set in like Abu Dhabi that could have just been completely excised and saved 20 minutes in the film and everything would be good. But I don't know. Maybe I get it. I guess
it wasn't in Dubai, was it?
I don't know. Where's Abu Dhabi?
That
might not even be the real name.
Okay.
Because it was late.
I just know that places love to film in Dubai because there are a lot of like really fancy buildings, and
it's set in the Arab Emirate. So there was like big tall buildings and a big set piece about stealing a car from a penthouse of a 100-story skyscraper.
How do you get a car into the penthouse of a 100-story skyscraper?
That doesn't faze me because there's sheiks involved.
Sure, anytime a sheik is involved,
it's just throw money at a problem. You could just take a helicopter and put it on the penthouse and build the penthouse around. I don't know.
Sure, yeah,
it's much more exciting how they get it down.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
I didn't want to ask about that because I want to see that for myself.
Yeah, but it's pretty good. There was no notable additions to the cast. I kind of thought, like, going into this film that they would spin it to where Jason Statham, similar to some of the other big names like The Rock, where he starts off as an antagonist, but then they team up against a larger antagonist, and it doesn't really go that way this time.
You think Statham might be a one-off in this thing?
They definitely leave it open to where he could be recurring.
Okay,
but
they need somebody to replace Paul Walker. I don't know that I just want to see a Vin Diesel, The Rock, Fast and Furious. They need somebody who brings what Paul Walker brought, which was like a sense of
driving import cars. You need someone to drive. It can't just be all American muscle. That's what you get with The Rock and Vin Diesel.
Absolutely, yeah. You need somebody driving a Honda of some sort. But
seemed to favor the Subarus this time around.
Okay, sure. Yeah, Subaru makes a good mod car.
WRX.
Yeah. I don't know. Paul Walker brought, like, he had the background where he was a cop before this, right? And like was into street racing and like kind of was skirting the law even when he was part of it. And I like that. It lended some sort of legitimacy to this whole operation, whereas Vin Diesel's just a fucking criminal, right?
Sure.
I mean, he's just a street racer asshole who, you know, he has a heart of gold. Everybody in that show has a heart of gold. Even The Rock has a heart of gold.
If you look at where these characters were in Fast and Furious and where like they're this shy of being James Bond, it's an interesting. But you see, I'm not really up on my pre-Fast 4 mythos.
2 and 3.
Like I never saw Tokyo Drift. I've never to this day seen Tokyo Drift.
I didn't like Tokyo Drift.
I didn't see Fast and Furious 3. I saw Fast and Furious 1 when it first came out and wasn't impressed. It's like when Fast 4 came out, that's when I became kind of a fan of the franchise.
Okay.
Ooh, let's look at this. Any expectations or anticipation for the new Mad Max film?
Frankly, no. I watched Mad Max for the first time like a month and a half, 2 months ago.
The original?
The original, I fucking hated it.
Yeah,
I thought it was a piece of trash.
I don't think the original is very good.
No, it's rotten. And the only reason I think that the only reason people really liked it is because it was a very different vision of a dystopian future, right?
Sure.
Like it kind of like Waterworld, right? Waterworld's not a great movie, but it had such a unique vision that people liked it. Cult classic status.
Maybe if you were a teenager when you saw it, but yeah, Waterworld's pretty terrible too.
Coincidentally, I was a teenager when I saw it. But yeah, I don't know. Mad Max is not a good movie, and I maybe it's just, you know, too far out of the realm of what movies are now.
But I mean, so do you like Beyond Thunderdome?
Never seen it.
Oh, because I think that a lot of the Mad Max, the first one is like an indie, small budget, and they increasingly became more kind of star vehicles as
Mel Gibson
kept blowing up. So, but yeah, I'm kind of
getting more and more Gentile.
It's not my favorite franchise. I'll tell you some before I get to the next one. Some trailers for Fast in front of Furious 7. There is an NWA. Negroes with Attitudes, I believe, is what that means.
I believe that's not actually what
biopic pick in the vein of Ring of what's the
the Johnny Cash one.
Yeah, the Johnny Cash one.
Walk the Line.
Walk the Line. That's what I want to say. Walk Hard, but that's a totally different thing. But it has like Dr. Dre and Eazy-E. And the guys that they got playing them are like dead ringers for them at the time, and their struggle to legitimize gangster rap. That kind of looked interesting. They're rebooting Transporter without Jason Statham.
Oh boy,
the guy. You've seen Tom Cruise's Jack Reacher movie? Do you remember the badass sniper, like the bad guy sniper in that? Yeah. That's the Jason Statham guy.
All right, cool.
And cool. Yeah, I feel like that's easy something they could do, the James Bond treatment, where they just continue to reboot that over and over again.
Yeah. Like I'm trying to think. I haven't seen a lot of the more recent ones.
I've seen, I think there's only been 3, and I think I've seen them all.
Are they still about transporting people?
Yep.
They are.
And this new one's still about. He's in fact, they're going back. Right. They're going back to the roots. He's transporting Asian women.
Perfect. Okay.
3 of them this time. I think.
Oh boy.
They should add 4 just to have the obvious tie-in. But it's also made by the producers of Taken, the Taken series.
Okay.
And I was watching the trailer and I'm thinking, and then, you know, later through Furious 7, who the hell comes up with this shit? Because like in Furious, anything you can do with a car, they do with a car. Like no problem cannot be solved with a automobile, and kind of
really, when you
the
think
same
about
franchise.
It, that's true of life. There is no problem that can't be solved with a fast automobile.
You could punch a dude, or you could just hit him with your car door. It's the same thing.
Yeah, just come on over here, buddy. Come on, just stand next to this car.
I want to see.
I'm gonna get in the other side. I'm gonna come around.
I want to see a Dominic Ortiz cooking show where he's like, you know, using afterburner or not afterburners, turbo boosters to cook things.
All right.
He's like using intake fans to radiator fans to chop lettuce or whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, it's kind of that. I just like how do they have this writers that like sit on the beach and think, oh, I know, we're going to drive up a plane wing and through the fuselage and it's going to take off in the middle of it. And then he's going to do a 360 at the tail section. And
I imagine they do. Yeah.
Land in a retention pond and hydroplane back onto a highway.
Probably.
I mean, but there's so many set pieces and like you start taking Taken and like all these things, all these action things.
Yeah.
You know, there is as many set pieces in some of these modern action pieces as there were in any 3 Arnold Schwarzenegger films back in the day.
You also get, you know, I think a symptom of that or a consequence of that is you get a lot of repeats too. Like I can't tell you how many action movies I've seen set on a plane that can't land for one reason or another.
Sure.
And speaking of Taken, I just watched a Liam Neeson one that was
Nonstop.
Like Nonstop, yeah.
Nonstop's pretty good. I liked it.
It's not bad. Yeah.
There's some questionable plane physics at the very end of that movie.
What happens? He lands the fucking plane.
Well, I'm talking about like when it's in the steep dive and people are floating around and just, you know, there's some like, what the fuck?
I mean, you know, there's Air Force One, there's Red Eye with Cillian Murphy. And
but that's recycling a premise. I'm talking about you like the scene from, was it Fast Five where they're dragging the safe through the streets? Like you can't just bite that scene and recycle it in another movie.
Yeah.
Maybe 30 years from now if you're doing and then it's an homage. But I mean, it's not nothing to come up with that much raw stunt work.
I agree. Yeah. It's impressive.
So let's see. I'll go back to the feedback thing. Freddie C said the NWA biopic looks great, and in true gangster fashion, Suge Knight is actually killed the guy in the movie a lot. True story. Wow.
Is he in prison now?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how many. I hope that there is a oral history of the making of this film that comes out sometime. I can read it because that sounds pretty awesome.
A film on the making of that film. I
get the Blu-ray.
I wonder if people are interested in Empire. Like, it kind of sounded interesting. My girlfriend described it to me. And
my sister is all about it. Yeah,
I kind of think I want to check it out if I ever have time.
And I saw a Saturday Night Live send-up of it that was pretty good. No, I kind of do too. We'll check. I'll check it out on one of the off seasons here.
All right.
Freddie C also says, I'm turning 30 tomorrow. Should I A, do some blow, B, get a hooker, C, multiple hookers, D, all of the above?
Can you get a hooker and multiple hookers? I don't know if you can do all of the above.
Well, separate transactions.
Okay. All right.
Now you got to get up early. You got to get up early and start the day with the one hooker.
Okay.
Do the blow. When you're recharged, get the multiple hookers.
Yeah, the blow will recharge you for sure.
Glove up, stay safe. Whatever, man.
Sure.
You only turn 30 once.
It's true. It's true.
I don't have any.
But I mean, you could do that when you turn 31 and 32. I mean,
well, if it goes good for you, then it can become a tradition. And if it goes badly, then it's, a story you can tell for your kids bouncing on your knee.
Sure.
I don't see a downside, honestly.
No, failures and mistakes are good stories.
I mean, sure, there's terrible STDs and law enforcement, but go to Nevada.
Well, then
go to a reputable ranch.
Then your exciting story. If you get the STDs and you get all sorts of horrible things happening to you, then the stories turn into morals too.
Well,
right?
Yeah.
See, this, kids, is why you don't follow in your dad's footsteps.
Don't be like your dad.
Yeah. Because look at my horrible cock. It's
maybe you can
frightening.
Maybe you can just allude to that. I don't know if you want to show them.
You could.
That's a touchy issue. Let's see here. Freddie C confirms that Suge Knight is currently awaiting trial. All right, I know what I'm doing after lunch. I'm reading up on the latest exploits of Suge Knight. After lunch, it's 2:30 in the afternoon, man. Well, after the capital L lunch. Ah, okay. One thing. So we started this thing. I brought some show and tell over for Jim, and we started with the this guy. This is the first mini I painted of the Reaper Mini Kickstarter. I will call him the consummate wanderer. Yeah, so because I wanted a figure that really spoke to me to kind of start it off right, and a fat guy with a big beard. Because my beard, not this big anymore. Not so much. No. And then on his backside, he's got the full keg of beer that he's just, you know, carting around with him at all times. I don't know why the camera's not focusing on the gentleman.
Yeah.
Let's reset its focus.
He's got to have back problems, right?
Well, I mean, he's robust.
Keg of beer.
He's super robust. And I didn't prime him, so you can see like on the backside where like he's already, some of his shit is worn off, which that's kind of annoying, but I can touch that up. I don't know. Do you think it took me about an hour to do this guy?
That's way better than I could do in an hour.
I think that's not right, because some of this, I did some reading up on dry brushing and like doing different washes and stuff. This is really easy to do.
Well, it's easy if you have surgeon's hands, which I don't.
But I don't have my hand's shaking shit. I'm just telling you that it's, do you think it'd be interesting lunch to do like a paint one of these? Like I can paint one, you can just talk.
Well, I think at the very least it'd be fun for people to laugh at how bad I paint.
Oh, so you would actually do one?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
I have no shame.
The thing that annoyed me is that I didn't trim, it's not really showing up, but like I didn't trim the flashing on him, because before I painted it.
Is that the seam?
Yeah. Before I painted it, it didn't even really show up. And even until I hit him with the wash, which is, if you don't know, it's just like a really diluted black that you just kind of dab on everywhere. And the paint kind of settles in the creases of his face and his hands. And it makes it look like you spent all that amazing time doing the detail when all you did is just dunk him in a very diluted pigment.
Nice.
But yeah, I thought he turned out pretty good. And I've got like 200 of these fuckers.
Is it like a very diluted black that you use for that?
I did.
Give it like a shadow highlights?
Actually, I did the very diluted black for all of his like weapons and body detail. I used a very diluted tan color, like a very dark, I think it was called like Elvish tan or something. It was a very dark brown that I diluted and then used for his face and his hands.
Okay.
And then, but yeah, I was pretty pleased with the way it turned out.
I used to subscribe to a couple of YouTube accounts that would show off like miniature painting stuff they did. And they, you know, they were as professional as it gets there, where like somebody would say, hey, I've got a whole set of Warhammer. I've got a whole faction of Warhammer guys, like 200 figures or something that I need you to paint up. They would charge them like $12,000 and paint all those figures up. And they were really good. I think it's called Blue Table Painting.
Yeah, I mean,
I was watching.
The next level is, I don't even know where you actually start painting their eyebrows and shit like that, and you are less reliant on washes is insane. But that's what you need to do to be able to charge like $100-$150
Yeah,
but it can be lucrative. Like, you know, if you can get away charging $150 a figure and you can paint that in 3 hours, that's not bad.
Yeah, I think they said some of their stuff was taking like 4 hours to paint on a big mini, which sounds crazy. I can't imagine doing a couple hundred of those.
But I think big minis are easier than small minis. I mean, there's more to paint.
Yeah.
And it might take much time, but the skill level is much, because it's just everything's bigger. The feature, you can get tons more detail very quickly and easily. I've
never really tried it. We did the paint and take once or twice at PAX, and I did a terrible job. I don't even know if I still have the thing. I probably do somewhere. Or it got smashed in my backpack on the way home. I don't know.
I did too. I've done 2 paint and takes, and it's interesting. If you lay like the first guy did and the second guy did and this guy, you can clearly see like a progression.
Oh yeah, he looks way better.
Knowing what the hell you're doing. Yeah, but it was fun. I think I'm going to do another this weekend. I kind of divided the box into shit that I probably don't ever care about and will never paint, and then the stuff that I'm like really interested in.
All right, and give me one of the ones.
No, I got like 70 of the ones that I'm kind of interested in. So
yeah, but it's not. I mean, like, what do I care in the end?
Oh, right? I guess
I'm gonna paint this figure that's gonna look terrible in the end.
You wanted something to start cool, I would think.
Yeah, well, let me take a look through the pile that you don't
care
about. Maybe there's something in there I like.
All right, there are some cool stuff. It's just some of it just personally didn't appeal to me. Couple naked ladies. Couple naked dudes.
Naked's good.
Can go for a Dr. Manhattan look.
Do the Oberon thing. I can just paint them both. Why not?
Why not? What else we got to talk about?
I've been playing a couple games.
All right, hit me.
You guys know the clicker games? You know what those are? Like Cookie Clicker, or there are a whole bunch of them. I mean, there's Clicking Bad, which is a Breaking Bad style one. If you go search for that, it's basically a game where you click to make money, and then you use the money that you make to buy things that give you more money. And it's this big endless cycle of just numbers counting up.
So it's like a Facebook game.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there are 1,000 of them on Facebook. But they're so easy to play. Like after you get past the like I have to sit here and click 100 times phase, it's like I check in once a day and I take all the money that I accumulated overnight and I throw it at something and then I check it. I log out.
So why is that? Because I got trapped in one of those things called Dark Galaxy. And I remember the reason I ostensibly started playing it because I'm like, these games are so easy, I can code one.
Oh, yeah.
And I was going to code one.
I think I might.
And then
this thing's on Steam. It's free to play and it has thousands and thousands of people playing it.
Really?
Yeah, it's called Adventure Capitalist, I think.
Huh. But I don't understand why. And then I got addicted to it. Like where I was like, you know, at first I was like, I was playing it every hour. And then I got down to like once a day. And then I just had this moment of clarity. Like, why am I doing this?
What am I doing with my life?
Well, I'm just basically waiting to save up for the next big thing to buy so I can buy this other thing so I can do this other thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, so why is it fun?
I don't know. There's some psychology there with the numbers counting up and seeing a very obvious track of progress here that is appealing to people, myself included. I don't understand it though. I don't know why I play it because obviously it's pointless and intellectually I know that. I don't know why. I don't know why. The other game I've been playing, because I don't know. I don't want to talk about that too much because it's just a thing I'm doing on the side.
Okay.
Another game I've been playing is City Skylines. That is a cool game. I mean, if you take everything that you liked about SimCity, the latest version of SimCity, and then you multiply it by like 9, because in SimCity you get 1 square, which is like 2 by 2 kilometers.
Okay.
And then in this game, you start off with that 1 square, but then you can expand it up to 9 times. And with mods, you can expand it up to like 25 times. So the cities are way, way bigger.
So you're talking like a 50 square kilometer board?
Yeah, I think it's 25 square kilometers total. 5 by 5 grid. But it's like, it's way, way better than SimCity just for that reason.
Sure.
Because with SimCity, you had to kind of make a city here, make a city there, and try and get them to interact with services.
Connect by building roads between them or something like that.
You couldn't even do that.
Really?
You couldn't even do that. You had to like say, I want to export water to this city from my current city. I want to export power from the other one back here.
The last SimCity I played was 2000.
Oh, Jesus. You're a little bit behind.
Yeah. I don't think I ever want to play another one. Because I played this shit out of that one. I like
city builders. I really like city builders. And the more advanced they get, the better.
Oh, I was really digging like watching you because the way you can like hook roads up to the buildings and stuff seemed like so much more organic and cooler than SimCity.
Yeah, so in SimCity 2000,
intelligent pathing kind of like.
You didn't like you could zone industrial, you know, the industrial commercial residential stuff. But you didn't have to do it on the roads, right? You would just like say, here's a section of industrial and I'm gonna put a road around it. Yeah. I think. In this one, you can only zone around roads. So roads are kind of like the base of your city.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's really good. It's very big and it's detailed. It's not quite as detailed as SimCity, but I think they're doing stuff every week to kind of update it and add stuff to it, and I'm really into it. There's a hard mode which I've been playing on, which is definitely harder. I mean, I made a city right off the bat on like the Venice, Italy map, which was kind of cool because it's got a few islands there and stuff like that.
Right.
And I made the city like 100,000 people in no time.
Right.
Like a day or two worth of playing. On hard mode, I've been playing for a few days on this thing, and I'm at like 30, 40,000, something like that. So it makes it a lot harder and it makes it a lot more fun in my opinion, because I thought it was too easy on the easy mode. Yeah. Regular mode.
I started playing a couple new games this week. Or Cecily has. She got Transistor, which was the free-to-play PlayStation Plus game.
Oh, it was? Okay,
which is made by the Bastion people, which I never played.
Supergiant Games, yeah.
I never played Bastion, but I love the soundtrack. This has got a really good soundtrack, and it's kind of like this Shadowrunner Snow Crash. You've got a sword, but it's kind of like a USB drive sword, and you can charge it. It's like a 3-dimensional isometric shoot combat game, like a Diablo, all right? Except for one of the powers is you got this cooldown thing where it's called turn time. When you activate that, you can actually plan out your actions, kind of XCOM style.
Yeah.
And then hit execute and it does all the things. So it's kind of like a bullet time feature that you get to use every 15 seconds in battle. But the cool thing, and I don't know if this is a Bastion thing, but you get these powers that you can put in the 4 slots that correspond to the 4 buttons on your PlayStation controller, and they're all different abilities. Like one of them lets you like place a bomb, and one lets you, your sword you slam on the ground and shoots a laser beam out, stuff like that. But you can take these slots once you get more than 4, and each slot has an upgrade and a passive slot. The upgrade modifies the base power by whatever. So like if you took that one thing where you slam the sword on the ground, it shoots a laser beam out. You take the bomb thing and put it on top of it, then any enemy it hits, it like implants a bomb on them that then chain explodes.
Cool.
Or you can, you know, combine that with a passive ability. So every time you walk X amount of distance, it drops a bomb. And there's like 40 of those things. So you can really mix and match and come up with some like deadly
play
combos.
style. That's cool. I like that. I played that game at one of the PAXs.
Transistor?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Before it was released. I don't remember which one though. I waited like 2 hours to play that thing. Because I was really excited after Bastion, because I love that game. And I thought it was cool. It's got a really interesting like techno punk kind of style to it. It's cool. Yeah.
And the other one is Mario Party 10.
Yeah.
It's for my first Mario Party, and it's fun, but the thing that drives me crazy is the score doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
Like you Okay, I think we're back. I think we actually successfully recovered from the first the hiccup. Okay.
Great. Computer crashed.
And we still have all the questions. Yes. All right. Sweet. Don't know why we do that. I'm gonna have to dig. I'm gonna have to put on my sysadmin hat and figure out what the fuck, why it keeps crashing in some of these video streams. Digging through the event log. Anyway, I was talking about Transistor. I think we're about ready to get done talking about that. Oh, Mario Party. Just the fact that the score doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's a bullshit game. It's completely random.
It's a way to spend 30 minutes with your family in a kind of cute, charming way.
Sure. If you have an 8-year-old, it's fine.
Ceci loves playing it though, man. She straight up loves playing it. Like me, her, and 2 CPU characters. She loves that shit.
All right. I mean, yeah.
I mean, we make jokes and we're drunk when
Sure.
we're playing it, but I don't understand exactly. I enjoy playing it with her. I would certainly not do it like with you.
No, I would much rather do anything else, basically. I watched Giant Bomb play the first 3 of those.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
So even watching your favorite people play it sucks.
Yeah, because they're miserable. They fucking hate it. The only person,
they hate it too.
Yeah, they do these. They're doing it as a joke, basically. Where like we're gonna play all the Mario Party games back to back on the longest setting. So they're like 4-hour marathons of Mario Party. Where Dan, the guy who I fucking hate on there, is playing the heel, and he's taunting people and aggravating people and just being a general shit. And the rest of these guys are just like, God, we hate playing this game. Why are we playing this fucking horrible game the whole time? It's just, I can't stand watching them play it. And they're some of the only people I can stand watch playing games.
Let's go to a QA. Someone says, you guys got any festivals or conventions on the horizon? Official like? No.
Unofficial? No.
I've been on the lookout. There's like a Comic-Con coming up in Cincinnati that I might want to check out as a civilian. We almost went to a coin op, like arcade convention. It was in Louisville.
Yeah.
But we checked out what it was actually looking like because we were gonna go on Saturday. We looked at the Friday, and it's just like a pretty tiny hotel conference room with like 100 machines packed in it. And it's like, I don't know if that was worth the $20 to go to. So we got lazy.
Is it free play?
Yeah, it's all free play.
No, that might be worth $100 or $20, whatever.
But it's like, I mean, it looked like maybe 50% bigger than what they have at PAX.
Yeah.
And that's just the side. So I was just thinking it was going to be just super fucking crowded, and it looks super crowded, and that would suck.
You need to go to like California
like,
Extreme or whatever it's called. My God.
I don't know.
That thing's been running for years.
There's the Arcade
years.
Museum is the one that I want to go to. I forget where that's at. It might be in Cleveland.
Huh.
I remember thinking it's like it's an easy drive from us. That would be cool.
There are a couple interesting arcades around here in Cincinnati that I heard about on Cheap Ass Gamers podcast. Yeah.
Like what?
Shipwreck was talking about going to one where
because that game works at the Newport Levee is bullshit.
Yeah. I'm talking legit arcade. Like they've got arcade video games. Not ticket dispensers and gun games,
right?
Which seems to be all they have at arcades anymore.
And half of them are broke.
And I want to say they serve booze and stuff like that. So like, it's kind of like GameWorks in that fashion, but a lot better games. Might try that. Speaking of arcade games, have you heard of New Retro Arcade? It is so it's a game that is designed for Oculus Rift, and it puts you into an 80s arcade. Like,
interesting.
Like you're in that environment, and it has a whole bunch of like weird twists on the 80s arcade. So like you can go up, it's essentially like an interface to a MAME emulator, but it's like PlayStation Home for a MAME cabinet.
Sure.
So you walk around. Yeah, you walk around, you can take a look at all the arcades, you can walk up to any of them, you can play them. You put your own ROMs in them. So like play whatever you want. And then they also have like a boombox there with a whole bunch of like a stack of tapes with music from that era that you can put in, and like you can go to the radio and you can like stream different shoutcast stations or whatever on it too. And then they have like Super Nintendo and a Game Boy and like all these things very realistically modeled and stuff.
So that's the cool. That's the cool thing about PAX, because that's how they have their classic arcade set up.
Yeah,
it's just like Journey and Winger and all that stuff playing, and it's dark and it's full of like fog.
Yeah.
And
I love that. I love the recreation of that era.
It's really cool. So no, I've never heard of that. Do you have to have can you get Oculus Rift now?
Not a production model yet. You can get like their second dev kit, which is an HD version.
How much is that?
I don't know.
Do you have to be a developer?
Probably a few hundred at least. I don't think you have to be, but it's not a finished product yet. They're talking. I think this year they're coming out with it. So
yeah,
that's cool.
Well, if I had money.
Yeah, but you don't have to have an Oculus to play it. You can just download it and install it on a Windows machine.
Freddie C said you guys should check out the history of SimCity. The game was pretty much made by accident. Real short and interesting wiki read. All right. That's more for you than me because I don't give a shit. What else? Anybody else got any questions or things you want to hear us touch on? I just finished Marathon in Downton Abbey. I'm about to start season 2 and 3 of Justified for shits and grins. And then I think I'm going to go on to Deadwood.
Okay.
Yes, I'm
going to have your fill of Timothy Oliphant.
I am.
Watch Hitman after that.
Yes. Then I can watch, I think it's Die Hard 4.
Yeah. Sure. He's the bad guy in that.
He is pretty shitty.
He plays a good guy. He plays a bad guy. He's versatile.
Oh Jesus. Do you have a ballpark schedule for the next few commission podcasts?
We've been talking about it.
We were actually going to get one done today, and then the accountant scheduled a meeting with us that was going to fill up the slot that we were going to do. But yeah, I think next week is when we're going to start banging one out, and then
I think so. It's still tough because we have like 2 new podcasts just came on the air, and we haven't actually lost any yet. Like we're doing a wrap-up cast for Walking Dead,
right?
So we're gonna have like 6 or something podcasts next week. I wouldn't promise next week. The week after that, though, I'm almost certain we'll get to one.
Either next week or the week after, we'll start one a week. And I think once we get into the saddle of May, then we can probably bang out 2, maybe even more if we do over a weekend.
7 or so in the hopper.
Yeah, so. But no, they will start coming out at a fairly regular clip. In the next 2 weeks or so.
Yeah.
So which one? I can tell you what order. Swamped. I can tell you which order you're in. Are you asking about a particular project? Krusty 222.
I don't know. We'll come back to that. What's the next one?
I have no thoughts on this. I've heard it referenced obliquely in John Oliver's weekly show. You guys see the SAE fraternity member's apology? The guy who led the racist chant. Any thoughts?
I don't even know what he's talking about.
I think this guy that was a YouTube video, cell phone video got updated of, I'm hoping, frat boys ironically chanting the N-word.
Okay.
And then it got uploaded to internet. And of course, like, man, I don't know if about the situation, but yeah.
You know more than I do. So.
I know, but I'm like, I want to have a strong opinion about something, but I hate people that have a strong opinion about something don't really understand.
You want to go into social justice mode.
Right. I mean, like I will say that there would be times in my life that if I was in a group of friends that I trusted on playing Magic the Gathering or something, and someone was recording some of the shit, I would be mortified. And I think there's probably few people in the world that can say, like, between their intimate friends, they haven't said anything that they would be proud of or not think is funny in a public context. You know, like if you get dark or weird with your humor. Having said that, chanting that in a semi-public setting seems very stupid at the best, and, you know, horribly racist in the worst light. But I don't know enough to condemn the guy or say whatever, you know, public apology, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
So not something we're going to do on Lunch Jim and A-Ron anytime soon.
No.
Although it's starting to get warm. I wonder if there's any way we could do like some outdoor stuff. We talked about building a bow, or maybe we could
frying a turkey.
Frying it to no, we're not frying any turkeys. Could we do Lunch Jim and A-Ron from a disc golf course?
The internet is the scary part there. If we're crashing here in the studio, I don't know what we're going to do.
I don't know what, I mean, my phone is capable, like as long as we're in a 4G area, it's capable of streaming stuff with a Hangout app. And we could bring one of these tripods along and, play around the disc golf with Jim and A-Ron.
I don't know. I can't imagine that would be interesting, but.
Well, I bet if we answered questions and stuff.
Sure.
I don't know. We've got a bunch of suggestions that maybe we can get to next week. And we've always got the tour of the studio.
Yeah, which we kind of need to do at some point in the next few months. I would guess.
Right.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
No big plans, though. We usually don't have a ton of plans for these things. We just kind of get on and talk about what we've been doing and answer questions.
It's been tough because we have, as part of our business meetings, we brainstorm topics and come up with stuff. And, we're usually doing other things kind of off the books where it's interesting to talk about. But of late, I've been pretty much consumed with Bald Move stuff and things to do for Bald Move. So it's, as a result, these things have been not as interesting.
Yeah, we've been so focused on creating content that it's hard to get any move. I mean, we haven't had our, weekly business meeting that we're supposed to have in months. So
no, not months, weeks.
Over 1 month.
I don't think
less
that's
than
true.
2 months.
We did a full. I know in March we did the full monthly. So
it's April.
I get that, but it's not been months. Is all I'm saying. Don't make us sound more irresponsible than we are.
We haven't done it in years.
Enough.
We say we're going to do this in this meeting. It hasn't been done.
All this account talk's been lies. We have no idea how much money is in our account. We never do check balance.
No.
What else?
I don't know. It's about all I've been doing. Just playing games and doing ball move stuff. So.
All right. Well, if you got any suggestions, send it into the forums, or we're pretty easy to. Actually, we're not very easy to get a hold. If you just send some random email to us right now, God have mercy on your soul, because there is between The Walking Dead and Game of Thrones starting up, and Mad Men and Justified and Better Call Saul, it's like hundreds of messages coming in, and if it's not sent to like one of those official things I'm monitoring, it kind of goes by the wayside. But
yeah,
forums is a great way to get a hold. VIP section, yeah, A1 attention and service there.
Yep,
we've even got a thread for Lunch with Jim and A.Ron ideas. So think that'll wrap it up for this week. Thanks for everybody for tuning in, and thanks of course for supporting us. We got to get back to work, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.